tell what he told me. He said, Fai, don't ever accept exact wording of Ambassador Yusuf Bush. Don't ever accept a settlement of Kashmir issue without the participation of the United States. I didn't say a word, then he said, let me continue. When the United States is going to be the part of the equation, we are not going to get anything. It is the contradiction of terms, but it is also a statement of fact. Richard Holbrooke, that is the most significant statement. Now, statement of his wife. Why? Because Richard Holbrooke was not any ambassador. Richard Holbrooke was known as the genius of State Department. Nobody could dare, even your president and prime minister could not dare even to talk to him. But because he was a very close friend of Hillary Clinton, he did not say it, but he told his wife, Kashmir is important. So that's why it's not that his wife is saying something, but it is because Richard Holbrooke has said something. Dr. Saiba has a very important question. When you are talking about right of self-determination, flexibility, again, contradiction in terms. It sounds so. It really sounds so. But I am saying with the people of Kashmir, we should take the decision to define the self-determination the way it is. Atlantic Charter of August 14, 1941. Atlantic Charter, August 14, 1941. It was issued by Prime Minister Churchill and President Roosevelt. The exact quote, all people must have the right to control their destiny according to their own free will. But I am saying this choice should be given to the people of Kashmir to decide. But what they are going to decide, there cannot be any compromise on that. It has to be decided by them. But I am saying that when I am insisting India, and you listen to Sayyid Ali Gilani Sahab, Ghulam Nabi told me that every time I go to Kashmir, Ghulam Nabi, every time I go to Kashmir, the graph of Gilani Sahab is on the increase. I just met him 2 months back in Philadelphia. He told me that let India accept the dispute. We have just Majid Malik, he was introducing me. I thought when he said that he is organizing many international conferences, I was almost going to listen from him, but he doesn't invite me. But he did not say it. He wants total independence. Forget about India, forget about Pakistan. These are two genuine leaders of the people of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Gilani Sahab के अल्फाज हैं, इलाहाकी पाकिस्तान मेरा, मुझसे उर्दू में बात की थी, इलाहाकी पाकिस्तान मेरे सियासी मंशूर का हिस्सा नहीं है, ये मेरे ईमान का जुज़ है. Ask Justice Sahab. So Gilani Sahab has to show some flexibility. That is within the definition of self-determination. And Justice Sahab has to show some flexibility. So it is within that context I was saying that we have to show the flexibility.
May I report? Yes, it's Dr. Fai Sahab, you have been talking a lot about the support of the Muslim world and especially the Organization of Islamic Conference. But as of now, during past 20 years, we have not seen much except press statements and usual rhetoric, which would certainly, help us to, whatever you call in your language, force India to accept Kashmir as a dispute and all that. And an interesting development took place very recently in Srinagar last week, when a delegation of Arab League was in Srinagar, headed by its ambassador in India. When we asked him, he said we have no position on Kashmir. And Arab League is also an important organization. So how do you view that kind of a situation where they have to change their statements from time to time in accordance with the compulsions they have from a growing power like India? And another question I have is about when you talked about Sheikh Abdullah as the only leader, do you accept that the problem as of now vis-a-vis the problem of Jammu and Kashmir is of the leadership, especially in our part of Jammu and Kashmir. You have been repeatedly saying that Sayyid Ali Gilani is the only leader. I mean, that's that apart. But do you accept, do you admit, because you have been interacting with the leaders almost on a daily basis, so do you accept that there is a problem of leadership in our part of Kashmir, especially in the resistance camp or separatist camp, whatever we call them? So, and what's the solution for that?
A right to self-determination and United Nations resolutions. It's my personal opinion that in any negotiating process, in any dialogue, the Kashmiri's right to self-determination is non-negotiable. So, if Kashmiri aspirations to be respected, then we must not be waylaid by some mind constructs that are being floated and injected unnecessarily in the Kashmir debate. We have to be flexible, but we have to demonstrate flexibility in the mind and heart. We have to demonstrate flexibility by demolishing the walls of hatred. We have to demolish the mindsets that have created and prolonged this problem. So, my dear friend, Kashmiris will continue their struggle, and their struggle is a struggle for right to self-determination. That's it.
Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Sayyid Honorable Vice Sahab and Justice Sahab. As a student of international law, I want to know the right of self-determination. As India and Pakistan both have entered into the United Nations, and they have declared with all of the nation at that time that Kashmiri have the right of self-determination to choose the either party. Now the question is that who will submit another resolution for decree of execution of this decree? And the second part of my question is, do you think that Pakistan is assisting the right of self-determination movement for Kashmiris in the context of issuance of stipend visa to the Kashmiris by China and UAE?
What's your opinion about that? We were very near to the solution. Yes. And also, is there any time frame in your mind, since you are involved in the talks and discussions, is there any time frame in your mind that by this time we would be free, the Kashmir solution will be achieved?
And the question, the comment is that it's quite surprising that a person of your experience is talking about the Adabal recognizing Kashmir, considering they've been recognizing the Palestinian cause for such a long time, and look what's happened to the Palestinians. The second thing is the point that you made about India declaring Kashmir as a dispute. If you remember the composite dialogue, 8 items of controversy were described as issues of concern. You could say they were described as problems or disputes, and of which Kashmir was one of the 8 issues, and an important issue. So do you think that that is enough, or do you think it would be wiser to strategically accept that as enough, or do you think it is very important for India to declare this in so many words, and then perhaps reduce the space that it has to talk on Kashmir?
Let me briefly respond. God Almighty is really merciful. Because Shujaat Bukhari, he introduced himself as a columnist, but he is the editor-in-chief in one of the dailies of Kashmir. Unfortunately, he misunderstood 2 of my points, which is the matter of life and death. Matter of life and death. I hope my conversation is being recorded, video recorded. I did not say Sayyid Ali Gilani is the only leader. I said, even if we are going to keep Sayyid Ali Gilani, Mirwais Umar Farooq, Yasin Malik, Sheikh Ahmad Shah together, they don't have that weight what Sheikh Abdullah had. I said, Gautam Navlaka is saying, whenever I go there, I am quoting Gautam Navlaka. I never said that OIC is of any importance. I told you that OIC people tell me go to America. But at the same time, let me also tell you, we were a delegation of 18 people. By the way, Americans, they don't like 18 people, but we were 18 people. Sardar Koyum Shah was there, Raja Muzaffar was there, Justice Bahauddin from Srinagar, he was there, many others. We met with Kiran Pendergast. In fact, when I sent him the letter, I said, dear Miss Pendergast, I thought she's a lady. He was the Deputy Secretary General for Political Affairs of the United Nations. There was going to be a conference in Senegal. He said, is anybody going to Senegal? I said, yes, I am going to go to Senegal, but Excellency, it really doesn't mean anything. OIC, it has no weight. And God is a witness. He said, this will be a disaster for the Kashmir cause. If you underestimate the importance of any international forum, OIC is one of them. Don't underestimate, they are not, I told you, they are not giving us anything. So Sayyid Ali Gilani is not the only leader, Shah Sahab. Keep a lead. We have the collective leadership. And secondly, let me go the way I have put it here. I was again saying that Gilani Sahab is saying it is a dispute. And he says accession to Pakistan. Justice Sahab says no, independence. That's why I was requesting and urging and whatever, pleading to both leaders to show the flexibility. And again, let me quote you Vajpayee. What a fantastic statement. He said in the Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house, that insaniyat ke pehraye mein, that was in the parliament. He said in the upper house, I am willing to talk to Hizbul Mujahideen within the Constitution of India. But Hizbul Mujahideen can talk to us outside the Constitution of India. If you really analyze it, he is not saying much, but he is giving that sense of flexibility. He is giving the sense of flexibility. So that's why I am saying that when I say flexibility, I mean the theme of the leader should be that he should have this embodiment of flexibility. There was one question, I will respond to that first about militancy. I come from Washington, D.C. You people are here on 25th, I am going back to Washington, D.C. But it is a statement of fact that militancy has played a very important role in Kashmir. I do not know how many of you know Sayyid Salahuddin. He was contesting election from the Manhattan, we call in America Manhattan of Kashmir. Remember Sayyid Salahuddin, who is here? The commander-in-chief of Hizbul Mujahideen. He was winning by 14,000 votes. And it was said that he is losing by 14,000 votes. So he had no choice but pick up the gun. But that is history. Gautam Navlaka, he came very close to my forehead to kiss me in Philadelphia. Gautam Navlaka, I am sure they all know him. He said, not only that you people initiated a non-violent movement, but you have been able to sustain it. There was militancy, it played a role. But today the people of Kashmir, not the leadership, people of Kashmir, they have changed the very nature of resistance from violence to non-violence. The Kashmiri leadership. If you really ask me what is the problem, why don't we reach our destination? And I will tell you because I don't want to really play game. Because I face this everywhere. And let me also quote you one of the meetings I had with Ambassador Richard Barton, who who was then the point man of State Department. Musharraf has already left Islamabad. Dr. Manmohan Singh has already left New Delhi. They were going to meet in Havana next day. By the way, I was not alone, we were 7 of us. I asked Ambassador Richard Holbrook, Ambassador, they are meeting because you told them to meet, otherwise there was no seriousness in both capitals. Can you tell them now to include the Kashmiri leadership? You know what he told me? He told me, give me one name. That is our problem. But alhamdulillah, we are working. Safi Saab is here, he is working, and we have Naqi Bandi, he is working, and Professor Shah and many others. But that is really the problem. And that should be one of our top priorities, whether you are the leader from Azad Kashmir or Indian occupied Kashmir. Yes, I think I responded to her. I think that should be possible. It is a part of the compulsory dialogue. You were not there. The person who is this Dilip Pendagankar, I invited him to our conference. That time, Musharraf and Dr. Manmohan Singh, they met in New York, to be exact, September 24, 2004. I think Vajpayee and Musharraf. They said, this is exact part of the joint communique. We will explore all the possible options to settle the issue of Kashmir. We had an international conference. We endorsed that. I am telling you, and you can quote me. I will appreciate, and I do appreciate, the CBMs which are not even Kashmir-centric. Because the least you can do with the CBM, the least, you diffuse the tension. But at the same time, we have to be also realistic.